have very diverse styles.
Between the two of us?
Some of them are very simple, some of them are very rich and complicated.
Yeah. I think they're all rooted in the same design principles. I think they're all a dance of saying something and then not saying anything at all. That's what I think, and with printmaking, I've learned that everything is about the detail. So you can say so much with the detail, and then somebody also can come by and walk and look right past your artwork and not see all the intricate elements inside of it. So to them, you're not saying anything at all. But if they see this, they might think this is amazing, which it is, and I think it's really awesome. But I also know that I watch Guagua like literally woodcut every element of this piece. So to me, that's amazing. So I think what was also really cool for us, Ryan came and like documented it. We all grabbed my camera and we documented this entire process. So that I think what was really cool for us is the process and seeing like everything unfold from the spontaneous creativity. So I think it's rooted in trying to say something but not saying anything at all too.
How do you decide to use black in the spaces?
This one.
Why not in color?
Because I live on two extremes. Like all of my exhibitions and then some elements of my life, hence the all black and white shoes. I think
and
like that's
teeth.
And white teeth. I want to get my goatee on. So yeah. So I live on two extremes. Like I'm in love with color and I'm in love with black and white too. And I think sometimes like if you would have came in and the entire show would have been extreme like this, your head would have exploded. But I think like black and white, it subtracts the attention, and then you get to focus on whatever you want to focus on. So I think that's why you see a lot of just like even well in every piece actually there's black, because we wanted you to be able to look at it but then pull out what you wanted to see. But then in these two, it's just simple black and white. And the moments of creating, we all knew, oh no, that's it. I think on that one I wanted to push it more and everybody was like, no. So I think we all knew like when the moments to stop. The marbling, the marbling was another thing. Like my first experience with color separation and like working with glue and just that whole like process. That's something else that we were really interested in, like exploring. Like how do you make it all work together and look like something without it feeling like you have to focus on the marble.
How do you decide when to do the marbling or wood block bricks?
We wanted to make sure that each element lived. So I think it was like what concept that we want to take. A lot of it was just laying things out and looking at the elements and seeing which one could conquer or could like accomplish what we were going for the particular design. So for example, I think this one, or even maybe this one, like we wanted something, like I said, with this one being the first one, we wanted something that had everything in it. So that's why the background is etching, the second layer is woodcut, and the third color is the abstract. Because it helps the artwork live the best. So I think it was like what format gives the artwork the best home to live in.
And the first day we go to shopping, right?
Yeah. So I got here late. My flight was delayed. I had an overlay in Beijing. I was supposed to get here Monday. We were supposed to start Monday morning. We were supposed to start Monday morning, but I didn't do it. The flight arrived late and they left me. So I had to spend the night in Beijing. I emailed them. I'm like panicking, like man, because 5 days is already enough, already a very short time period to try to do this. And I was like, man, like we've pretty much lost like half of Monday. So they picked me up from my hotel, and then we immediately like hit the road. Like we went like shopping.
All the materials.
We got all the materials. We went copper shopping. We got fresh wood. I mean, it was just like non-stop concept. Then we came back here and talked through the process of where do we start Tuesday. And I don't work like that, so I really appreciate, I think we were both really good students of each other's like format, because they're very detailed, and they were really like on my ass about, because I could have came in and tried to create on the fly, and they're like, nah, it doesn't work like what we do doesn't work like that. And for me, I had to respect the craftsmanship of it and say, all right, let's scale back and really make something that's intentional.
So this is the first exhibition you've done on the spot?
In a specific one location, yes.
With the artworks?
Yes. Most of them, I created in my studio, and then they're, you know, shipped or take them. But this is the first like in artist residency on the spot. All of my personal like studio practice I just make on the fly, but none of my work is really planned out. I try to do the other side of my brain, the designer side, and relearning like Illustrator and Photoshop and some new work like book cover design and stuff that I've recently been into. The graphic of the exhibition. That's another side of the spectrum that I'm learning. I'll save that time. That's the time that I have to really use my brain to solve the problem, which is really hard because I'm like very new to that whole world, but learning a lot. So the abstract is when you get to like be on the fly and have fun. And I don't think a lot, and there's not a lot of, in general, as an artist, there's not a lot of like, I'm not the artist to have like a inventory of artwork. Like I don't make a whole bunch because I feel like the intention needs to be there. Like what you make is what you make. Some people will say, oh, there's 100 pieces and I just pick the best one. I have done that before, but there's not like a lot of like excess like artwork hanging around. But this, yes, to answer your question, long and short, this is the first like on the fly, on the spot, spontaneous experience.
If I type Reggie Black, can I see the rest?
Sure, so you can follow me on Instagram, I am Reggie Black. My website is IamReggieBlack.com, and I think everything is on there, Instagram and Facebook as well, so you can link with me from NPC as well. And you can buy it here. So the cool part about these pieces, so here's another like sad moment. Like I come here for 5 days, I make this, and then I leave with nothing. Like it all stays here. Like it just so it stays here, or it goes with collectors, but you buy it here. Like, and that's what we wanted to do. So this artwork stays in Hong Kong. So these are like Hong Kong exclusive art pieces that will live here and be sold here, and we work on the next project together. So I'm getting on the flight the same way I came, just with my clothes and a few new cool pins or something like that.
White shoes.
And my white shoes. These were packed when I came. I had on black shoes. And so, any more questions? Thoughts, comments?
Yeah, sorry, I missed the introduction.
Can I put you on the spot?
No, you can't.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Sorry, so I missed the introduction. Can you just like give me a rundown like on the materials that we're using? You were talking about coppers,
Sure.
woods, marbles.
Sure.
And how does that get on the paper?
Sure.
And where do the colors come from?
Sure. I know.
Is it like something to shoot on separate?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I can't put you on the spot. No, I won't. You don't like it. It's a really good friend of mine. That's why we're dancing like that. But anyway, so very good question. So to start, like I said, Bambi and David are really
Bambi? Where is Bambi?
Hi. Bambi is David's right there. They're really detailed with materials. So before I came, they even during the emailing process, they were outlining like paper and what we can use. And I went to the art store in DC and like selected various like Pantones of gold and acrylic paint. And then when I came here, they had some. But the paper that we use is 600 gram weight, 100% cotton, handmade paper from India. And it's 600 because of all the technique that we knew we were going to layer and stack on top of it. We wanted to make sure that it gave a very like detailed and textured experience with the paper. Where else did we go? The marbling was created by golden acrylic paint, doing color separation in the, it's like a tub, it's glue, right? Is it like the chemical to separate?
CV.
CV. So the marbling process took place in this, like, I won't call it a bathtub, like a container of CV, and then you color separate. Like I did the color separation spot on. It's just trying to maneuver and like move the ink, and then the paper is dipped in this solution, and then from there you get what you get to come up, and then that has to dry. But before that has to happen, the paper has to be soaked overnight in order for the marbling to stick to absorb the paper. So these two pieces, it was funny, it was like these pieces were being prepared and they were over there, and then Guagua, she was like wood cutting here, and Bambi was wood cutting here, and I was on the floor spray painting, and so it didn't look as cool as it looks tonight.
It sounds
Yeah, it was super cool. I don't want to leave, I'm having a hard time, man. This is the copper plate, and to create etchings. You can see the plate here. And this process, we went to the copper store. Right? It's a copper, in Montauk, we went to a copper store and bought like copper and got it like bent, and then we came here. The process that I'm very new to is acid baths. So the elements, this one is me creating directly with black ink on the copper plate. And I think we have some of the materials around, I think, but this is actual, everything we created directly on the material. There is no like sketches or mock-ups, or everything is direct and live on the element. So this is me doing like, I guess my very like abstract flow of acrylic washing, if you will. And then that has to be dry, which they pulled out like a heat gun, and I thought like we were in trouble. So this was dry by like a heat gun, and then it's like the next process. Help me if I'm getting it wrong, but I'm trying to see if I learned a lot. So this could be a test. Right. So after the artwork dries, it's then like dipped into an acid bath, and that absorbs, that gets the element to do positive and negative. And then that's how this white at one point was black. And the red, the ink that you print, was the actual copper. So it creates a positive and negative. So I talked about paper, I talked about etching, and woodcut. Woodcut from the wood that we sourced when we were out the half of that first day, Bambi and Guagua, right there. They are in their own right like amazing like woodcut artists. They have another exhibition that I went to. Obviously, it's amazing. They've won like awards and like awesome things. And so this is created directly on wood with a big sumi brush. All these elements, and then there's some things that you would probably have to get up on to see, but Dave had this really cool spray paint here from the U.S. and when you spray it, it creates a very marbling effect, kind of gives like this spider web look. So that's behind it, and if you get up on it, you'll notice how you can see it living and then you see it disappear behind the black, but the black it becomes like a embossed stamp on top of. This is actually in my lithograph ink that we use, I think. Right?
Yeah.
So this is lithograph ink that we use for this from Japan. Swallow.
It's just there's a lot of elements happening.
Yeah. So I was joking in the description that I was when we were writing and like trying to describe the piece. I feel like it's a global like exhibition. Like all the elements were sourced from various parts of the world. We didn't use it, but yeah, we did. Like there's some ink from France, there's things from Hong Kong, like the papers from India, the spray paints from the U.S. So it's like a kind of like a cross-cultural show, if you will.
And the colors?
colors inspired by Hong Kong, the neons, red, black and white. Of course, is to subtract the show, to take your attention off the color. We all went to the stationery shop and picked out the spray paint, and then a lot of the colors with the marbling and the acrylic was me. They just gave me like almost like a tube of a box of paint and said go for it. But I didn't want to do that because I know too many options. You have no options. So I literally just like stuck to maybe like 3 or 4 colors to make sure that I didn't go overboard. So that's where we got the colors, but all inspired by the title of the show, Looking Up. Like when you look up of Hong Kong, you can find these colors primarily living in every neighborhood of Hong Kong when you're out and about. And the soft kind of teal here is just like a touch to be in between the very bold colors, but still represent the color without conflicting with the black and the marbling. So, is that cool? Oh, and then I think Bambi pulled this out of the stash that I really love. This is like a silver. When it comes out the tube, though, it looks like melted silver. It's very rich. It's like fascinating to see like the color be this strong, but then you can see it create a life of its own once it goes behind certain acrylics that are already applied to the paper. So then it has this very like shiny and then dense, and then this happened, and then Sumi brush, the Sumi ink creates its own body on its own. So you have just the silver does its own thing.
So I mean, recently you had a show in Tokyo when you were using different mediums. Now you're using more mediums again.
Yeah.
You're still like,
Yeah.
and you're getting into so many mediums. And
Yeah.
you're still finding yourself
Yeah.
within those.
Yeah. But I think what's cool about, so my last show in Tokyo, I explored the world of screen printing, offset registration. What else was in that show? Digital prints that I printed on large scale photography paper that they use for like billboards and stuff. So a lot of my work was printed in that component. Versus this show, I think the show in Tokyo was more digitally inspired. Versus this one is, everything here is created by hand. There's no element here yet. There's no element here that was created with the technical. With like a digital tool. Like everything was straight, like from idea to like execution, directly with 8 hands. I had to count. So for me to explore the world of like printmaking, I think because of my attempt to always explore, I'll find the right answers through the exploration and align myself with the like experts that do the other parts well. So that's why I think like it always like works, because you get really good people together and the collaboration is always like solid.
Yeah.
That's it. If you don't have any questions out loud, I'll be around, so feel free to like pull me up. For one, Bambi, go ahead.
Yeah. For me, it's greatest part of the collaboration of us is you spray on the print.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you do the first one, you have struggled for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, you spray, everything is right now. What do you think when you just you have the power to do? How come you have the power in such a short time? Yeah.
How come what?
You can put the eyes on the first tree.
You just share the
Share the process.
Yeah.
Of the first one.
Yeah.
It was sitting somewhere, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's all about like, I'm a very like solo artist with the exception of a few awesome friends. So for the most part, when I'm creating, I kind of have to be moved in the space. And I think when we were here, the creative energy was just awesome, right? So there was a lot of planning going on, but I think when we saw this one just kind of sitting, like the abstract hand, just it felt right to add to it, like at that moment. And I think that's what I needed to do to kind of like comfort everybody, because I think what the cool but concerning part of a collaboration is that we know we're showing up as students to do new things, but you still have to respect the other component. And so I wasn't sure if you guys were like cool with the abstract first.
Yeah.
So I had to show you what the hand looks like. Because most people see this and be like, oh, well, you're a graffiti writer. I'm like, no, I just write. If you grab any notebook of mine, you'll see that this is, I mean, without it looking like spray paint, but this is how I write in real life. Like, this isn't a typography font or anything. This is my natural handwriting. So every element you see is just me exploring it with a different writing tool. So to go from there, and then this one looks very different because of the spray can nib with what if, yes should be wrong, and try again. We used a chisel spray can nib, so that's why you get the difference. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Not really.
Because when you see, you spend a lot of time to do the print.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, how do you have any pressure? You see it,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Think
No,
of how you can share.
It was all pressure because, like I said, I think when I watched you guys like create the etching to do the woodcut and like the proper lining and the gridding, and that's why I left it blank for so long, because I was afraid to like fuck it up. like I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And then you guys kept saying like nothing is precious. You know, that was something. And I've heard that from several like mentors and people that I've worked with, like art isn't precious. Like don't what's the word I'm looking for? Don't baby things. Like get into it. And then you guys kept encouraging me to loosen up, because I was here like, because this is your home, right? Like I'm a visitor, so I had to make sure that there was a level of respect created throughout the environment.
Yeah.
So it stayed blank because I didn't want to fuck it up. But then when y'all were like, no, let's go for it, let's push it, that's when we got this.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the one that helped us really like, because after this we were rolling. You know, we put on some good Coldplay and we were in the flow.
That's the first one you did?
This is the first one, yes.
What's the order of all the works that's the first one, then what's the order you create all the works?
This,
that's the first.
in order?
Yeah, in order.
First, second,